Adultery, no more a criminal offense. I'm sure every two-person out of you might have came across this memorable judgment which has now become the burning topic of the society. Many of the general public considers this verdict to be immoral. And as a fact, in September 2018, Supreme Court has given a number of decisions which were a great change to our society. What I personally feel is the problem is not in law and order. The problem is in interpretation of a particular judgment. I personally realized that until I knew the complete information about this decision, I regarded it to be immoral just as all other people who were being manipulated by the media. Today's media is trying to coat news with spices so as to make it sizzling. But due to this, the adverse effect is on the general public, who are meant to believe what is written on the newspaper, the headlines, which are so fascinating that it becomes eye-catcher. Well, now let's get into the real decision by Supreme Court, which made Section 497 as unconstitutional, an IPC. What is actually Section 497 and why was the judgment called memorable? That's because after this verdict, 158 years old provision was nullified. This means that this provision was pre-constitutional. This simply tells us that this provision was made under British legislation. Now, what does adultery means? Adultery means when either of the spouse of a married couple tries to have physical relation with any other spouse who is or is meant to be married. Now, Section 497 I felt was a gender bias provision. According to Indu Malhotra, in her declaration while this case was on, she said that this provision violates the fundamental right of every citizen of this nation. According to Article 14 to Article 18 of the Constitution, every citizen of India has a right to equality. But according to this provision, a woman was treated as shatter. A male husband cheating on his wife with another married woman could not be prosecuted by his own wife, but he could only be prosecuted by the husband of the another wife who is cheating with that person. Second, the wife, if committing the same adultery charges, was not plead guilty. Only the husband was treated to be guilty. Third, if the wife from the another couple who is cheating on someone else's husband, if she is doing that with the consent of her own husband, that won't consider to be adultery. Is this just and fair rule? No, not at all. All Supreme Court judges wanted to make us understand was that there stands a lot of difference between constitutional morality and social morality. But where it comes to the fundamental right of an individual, court will consider even one single person whose rights have been infringed. And let's add on to this. Saying adultery is no more a criminal charge is incomplete information because the real verdict clearly says that Adultery is no more a criminal charge, but it's still a civil wrong. Being a civil wrong, it means that another partner has complete rights to take divorce from such guilty partner under Section 13 of the Hindu Marriage Act 1955. We are nobody to judge Supreme Court's decision. Supreme Court is the apex institution of a nation. Every person from the lowest to lowest rank and from the highest to highest rank is meant to bind by the rules and laws made by Supreme Court. I was here just to interpret you the real decision so that you are not fooled by those fake words which are being sold in the market. Try to first read the judgment yourself, and then you realize what it really means.